This best of 5 is to prove who is going to go into Tier 1 for an entire year. It's not just the season, you're hitting the big leagues. The stakes are so incredibly high. It's sitting on the back of their brain right now. They're all going, we've got to win this round, we've got to win this round, we've got to win this round.
Siege to me is a combination of different genres. It takes a shooter, something that many people are probably quite familiar with when you think of video games, and a more kind of new genre of game called a MOBA, whereby individual players pick very different characters, they come together to form quite a unique team, and the game then plays out. You combine that in with the complexity of Siege around fully destructible environments, the plethora of gadgets and gun types that you get in the game. It does form quite a complex beast at points. But the beauty of it, I think, is in that complexity, in that you can be playing this game for 5 or 6 years in and still be learning new things about it every single day.
I've lived in Bromley since I was born. I live with my mum and my sister. They're both working for the local council right now. There's not too many great jobs around here. Most people travel to the city of London to work. I think the first time I heard of the term esports was probably actually when I started playing Rainbow Six Siege. The high intensity of the game, the commentary on top of it was just like so exciting and making the game interesting. And I think from that it was just, okay, yeah, this is what I want to do.
When I first started playing the game, I was just playing it casually, but then when I got into esports, as soon as I started seeing these pro players, I was like, I want to be like that. I want to do that. You know, that's what I want to do. I had my eyes set on European League.
So generally in most games, you have what's kind of known as a path to pro, right? Where anyone who's playing ranked at a horrible level like I am can go through to becoming the world champion in a few years' time. Generally that begins at the kind of national level. Here in the UK, that's called UKIN. If you come out on top of that, your team progresses through into what's known as the Challenger League. Challenger League is where you can then compete for a spot to be in the top tier of competition, Tier 1 as we all call it, the European League in Europe or North American League in America. That's when you have the spot to start competing at massive international events like majors, as we call them, that are hosted all around the world, or the one that everyone really wants to win, the Six Invitational. The story for Cowana began in UKIN, and Cowana, with the kind of slightly revised roster, coming up against big household names like Na'Vi, there was Eminem. And Eminem is seen as kind of the golden child of the scene at that point, right? Like everyone had already said, that spot into Challenger League is being won by Eminem, no questions about it.
In terms of rivalries, I think there's always been one between us and Eminem. I don't think there's been a game for a very long time that's not been close.
And so Cowana are these guys that kind of step up and aren't, not too liked, but everyone's like, there's some egos that need to be tempered here.
We were a very, very talky team. We're a talky team with nothing behind us, you know?
And no doubt, I imagine behind the scenes, one or two of them had said something to the effect of, we think we're better than Eminem and can take the #1 spot, which to Na'Vi naturally didn't think for their friends that was very fair. The real heartbreak in that situation for Cowana is that's you basically out of chances. You have to win the National League to make it into the Challenger League, to have a spot of getting into EUL. That was unless they could clinch the final spot in Challenger League through the Open Qualifier.
Any team in Europe can come into these Open Qualifiers. Anybody can sign up for them.
I want to say there was maybe 300 teams that competed overall over a couple of weeks. You don't know who you're going to face. You don't know some of the players that are even on these teams. You've never heard of them.
It is very much you need to be able to adapt on the fly, otherwise you're out and your chance is over.
He sees one behind the third box, he fires at the legs, but he can't have it. The cover's there though, Sof has eliminated Gemini, and 2v4, Sasha's gone, Sof, he gets the final kill. Cowana bursts through the Italian defense, and they send it home. UK Massive makes it into Challenger League.
All the pressure now steps in for Eminem.
I think as soon as you make it into Challenger League, for any team it becomes all right, this is now serious. We have a real chance of making this a career and becoming far more than just a hobby, right? 10 games and you are then a pro team. that's when it starts to feel very, very significant very quickly.
At the time, Sloth was still working, so he was only practicing in the evenings. But then on weekends, we was spending 8 hours a day practicing, literally sitting there and playing the game.
I lived with my single mom who needed me to be able to bring in some money to financially support the house because otherwise I couldn't afford it. So I had to work that full time, but then I also had the motivation of that I want to play Siege full time. Some days I remember going to sleep at 6 o'clock in the morning after playing ranked and waking back up at 8:15 to go to work the next day.
Pushing round, finds one, brings down Nath into a 2 versus 2. Once more coming through, it's Sloth, 2 versus 1. So for Cowana coming into playoffs, they were the third place team in their group. They'd kind of just scraped through with a couple of rocky results against the lesser teams. They then come up against Winstrike, who are the #1 team in the other group. And everyone's like, there's no way they win this. They 2-0 that.
That's Sloth with a massive flank coming up, mate.
They then come up against the fan and pro favourites in the whole competition in Penta and 2-0 them as well. It's unbelievable. So on the other side of the bracket, M&M are having a run through there as well and make it into the grand final against Cowana, the winner of which is the team that auto makes it into EUL. To have M&M and Cowana kind of facing off in this rematch like they had back in UKIN to determine who makes it into the top tier of competition, chef's kiss. Beautiful, most dreamy setup you could ask for.
It is time for the final of the Challenger League. We're kicking things off with a bash of UK teams, Cowana and M&M. It should be a tight one. It's a best of 5 series, and we could well see all 5 maps.
I think once you reach the series point map, once you know that it's 2-1 to Cowana, and if this next map is won by them, they win the whole thing, that's when the pressure really ramps up.
This best of 5 is to prove who is going to go into T1 for an entire year. You're hitting the big leagues.
M&M started on defense. If you start on defense, then you probably won the map.
We get onto this map number 4, and again, it goes to overtime, the third map in a row. Round 15, literally the ultimate decider as to who makes it.
The round progresses probably down to about a minute and nothing's happened. We take us the map control and everyone's just sitting there waiting for, someone to do something.
I remember saying to the boys at the very beginning of the round, look, it's not really working for me what we're doing at the minute. I'm going to try something. I said, I'm going to go on a little crouch walk. I just hit my crouch key and I stay crouched the entire map. They can't hear me move and I try and get in behind them.
Sloth, the man to entry.
Sloth managed to just walk through, pick up 1 kill.
And now Cowana are getting ever closer to making their way to EUL.
M&M are down into a 5 versus 3. Huge number disadvantage. Comms are probably completely panicked at this point, and Cowana just go in for the jugular.
It's all on Jonka. He finds the kill. Cowana, all they have to do is find him.
We know he's been forced to go on the left. He can't have gone far, we'd have seen him. So he has to be in this little block segment here.
There's about 15 seconds left, and I think the call was just, we need to go kill this guy now.
We start shouting, kill, kill, kill.
You get it.
Oh, you want to kill? Kill, kill.
The pressure's on, like, you need to kill this final person to be able to win this round.
My hair started to stand up on my arm. I got shivers down my spine.
They can't make a single misstep.
Having a million thoughts race through your head, kind of like a blur.
We're nearly there, we're nearly there. One last push, one last nail in the coffin, let's put it that way.
Looking for the refrag! Cowana have done it! The journey from UKIN through the Open qualifiers, through Challenger League, and now to the European League.
My boys are amazing. I absolutely love everybody in my team to pieces. The fact that we're here now and the fact that I'm in front of you for this this interview is nuts. I didn't think that I was going to do this a year ago.
Oh, I was a right little on that interview. On the interview, yeah. To be quite honest, at that point, I was on cloud 9. We all were. We proved why we are here. We proved the grind is worth it. I proved to my parents, proved to my grandparents, proved to everybody that I am capable of this and this is a real thing. And my main thing was to my little brother as well. I want to show him that he can do what he wants when he's older. He doesn't have to go into this regular, mundane 9 to 5 job.
Like I say, I was always moaning at him, saying, get out of your bedroom, get into the real world. And actually, this is the real world. So, yeah, I kind of tail between my legs.
I think I taught him all his tricks.
You want to give him a spin round and see your back?
I'm very proud of Ralph, yeah. I just ultimately just want him to be happy. And at the moment, he's really happy. I can tell he is, so
Yeah, I'd like to go and see him if he played in this big stadium, but I don't think he'd want me to. Grampy style.
Oh, I think it's an incredible opportunity, really. I mean, we all know that nowadays technology is the future. It must be a fantastic time for young people to be able to get into that sort of thing. Yeah, good luck to them.
So we just wish him well in the future, and they hope when they get playing in the Pro League, they can get to the top.
I think if nothing else, Coawana's victory showed that the UK can produce good players. What may start as a bit of a hobby, a bit of a passion, something you do for fun, that with the right tenacity, grit, effort and discipline, anyone can be successful.
Ends all the information. Oh, it's just something that I've been running off while we've been watching all the games each Thursday, and the scores, what maps they've played, and who needs to win, who needs to lose for Cowana to get to the top. And hopefully tomorrow they stay there. Yep. Because they've got a hard game tomorrow against Navi, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.